This is a 1982 Indian-built Enfield 500. The owner has just acquired it, and to be honest, it's a bit of a basket case. The story is that the engine was being rebuilt, but the owner lost heart and decided to sell it as a non-runner. The primary drive side completely dismantled, and a summary inspection showed bits missing. So the first job here is to just make a list of all the parts that need to be acquired. With that done, it's time to take out the engine. I'll start here at the front with the front engine mounts. The reason the engine's coming out and being stripped is at the end of the crankshaft where the rotor goes on, the woodruff key has opened up and is sloppy in the crank. And also the crank is very hard to turn over. At this stage I'm thinking the piston is too tight in the bore. Maybe the rings haven't been gapped properly. Also, one of the lugs at the bottom has been cracked and broken away, so I'll have to build that up with a bit of welding and machine back to its original condition. With the front engine plates removed, I moved to the back engine plates. These are held in place with 2 bolts and the footrest hanger, which is a hexagonal rod running right through the engine and frame. With those removed, the engine is hanging by the single mount at the top of the gearbox, so I support the engine weight with a scissor jack. Raising it up until the top gearbox mount is no longer carrying the weight. This is then driven out, leaving the engine to sit on top of the scissor jack. Now that's all is required is a bit of jiggling and wiggling until the engine moves sideways and can be lifted out. Trying not to snag anything on the way out. Then it's up onto the engine table for stripping. Starting with the gearbox. 4 nuts and it slips off quite nicely. Very nice design. It doesn't look like the gearbox has been touched, so for now I'm going to take a chance on it. Moving to the top end, the rocker covers were taken off. Again, studs missing, bolts missing, nuts missing. More for the shopping list. Next, the cylinder head oil feed, 2 banjo bolts and an olive union on top of the crankcase. Now the rockers. On the Indian models, the India built models, these have a reputation of wearing rather fast, so when I get them off I shall be checking them for wear. But luckily these are fine, both inlet and exhaust. A quick roll of the push rods show that they're straight as well. They look rather new, they might have been replaced with this engine build. The tappet chest cover was also removed so I can gain access to the barrel retaining bolt that I'll undo later. This just leaves the cylinder head bolts to be loosened and the head can be taken off. The golden rule here is to hit the head sideways. Don't try and tap it up against the fins. All you'll achieve there is broken fins. Again, I'm not using the screwdriver as a lever. I'm using it more to detect movement so I can know when the face is broken. Once the seal is broken, the cylinder head lifts off quite cleanly. Mind you, I did find a load of sealer here. Don't know what that's for. The head gasket looks new and well annealed. Just this gasket sealer all over it. Now the little barrel retaining bolt that's hidden inside the tappet chest. Remove this and the barrel should lift off cleanly. Sometimes it's a good idea to loosen the two top crankcase bolts, just in case they're pinching on the base of the barrel. Again, tapping the barrel against the fins, not using the mallet to try and lift the barrel. And like the cylinder head, the seal is broken and the barrel can be pulled clear. The barrel came off cleanly, no stickiness whatsoever, so now I'm getting worried about the crankshaft. As you can see, I'm having to use vice grips to turn the crankshaft. I wouldn't worry too much about this because this is the end of the crank that I'm going to have to build up with weld and remachine. But it just shows you how tight this crank is. It's as if end float shims have been put in and too many have been put in, and then the crankcases have been squashed to close up. Weird. Of course, it could be that the oil pump's seized. Hopefully we'll find out later. The piston was removed so I could check the big end bearing for play. Again, it looks quite new, but there are some scuff marks on it. Big end seems fine, but the crank is still tight. I don't know, weird. Anyway, that's enough for now. Thanks for watching.